Hello, welcome back. Let's talk about area and mixed numbers. The I can statement is, I can find the area of a rectangle with fractional side lengths by tiling it with square units and use it as a model to represent fraction products as rectangular sides. This way of looking at finding area is probably kind of a new concept. It's a little bit different. So I'm going to do my best here. But the first thing I want to note is that we are looking, when we're looking at these individual tiles in here, what you're normally using is a square that's 1 unit by 1 unit. But today we're going to let our side lengths be fractions. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So our problem here is 1.5 times 1 3/4. So that's what this is going to be a picture of. But our units, like I said, our units are going to be 1/4, 1/4 by 1/4. So I need to find out how many 1/4 units I have in each of my factors. So to start with, let's look over here at 1.5, and we're going to change it into 1/4 units. So I take my mixed number and I'm going to turn it into an improper fraction. So 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. So the equivalent fraction is 3/2. And then I need to find how many fourths that is. So 2 times 2 is 4. So I have to do the same thing to my numerator. 3 times 2 is 6. So I have 6/4 in 1.5. So let's go back to our side here. This is going to be our 1.5 side. That's our side with a length of 1.5 units. But I'm not doing it in whole units, remember. I'm doing it in 1/4. So there are 6 1/4 units in 1.5. We just figured that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I have 6/4 units. Now let's do the same thing here to 1 3/4. So if I take 1 3/4 and I change that to an improper fraction, 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7, so I have 7/4. So this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is 7 units long. It's not 7 whole units though, it's only 7 1/4 units. Okay, so that's where we are so far. Now let's fill in these blanks. Right here, how many squares cover the diagram? Well, I know by squares, I'm not telling you the dimension necessarily, but I know that my figure here, my rectangle, is 7 squares by 6 squares. So if I multiply 6 by 7, I know that there are 42 squares that cover that rectangle, right? And each square is 1/4 unit by 1/4 unit. So I have to do the math here. 1/4 by 1/4, multiply your fractions. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 4 is 16. So each square is 1/16 square unit. Okay, so the area of the diagram is, we've got 42 squares, right, times, each of them is 1/16 of a square unit, right? So I can put 42 over 1, and then I just multiply my fractions. I've got 42 over 16. And then if I reduce this, or if I change it to a mixed number, I've got 2 and 10/16, but I'm going to reduce the 10/16, so I really have 2 and 5/8 square units. So this is a pretty different way to look at this, to correlate the area to the mixed number. Go ahead and try the practice problems on your page, and then scan the QR code at the bottom and we'll go over them.